Hi, I would like to welcome you to my home studio and gallery space. My name is Erin, and I run ECKOArt and ECKO Certified Sound Healing. And I've also recently started another business, another branch of my business, which is paranormal and psychic coaching for. So, Transcendent Lux Lucius is a 6-month psychic and paranormal coaching program for experiencers. And so I'm doing that. And if you're interested in that, get in touch with me. I want to let people know that I'm still doing the artwork and things like that. So I'm doing the artwork and I'm still working with the sound frequencies and the healing frequencies and the singing bowls and the tuning forks. I've been doing this at home because it's come to my awareness through my guidance and several different things that there were security reasons why things happened that closed the shop that I was in. I know anytime I work with the public that I run the risk of having people that aren't very nice come and do things. And I mean, like that, it sounds weird, but it's something that just happens. If I were working in a gas station, there would be a nutter that would come in with, I mean, something messed up would happen. I have too many, wow, I don't know what that was. I have too many important, welcome to my life. I have too many important things to do to have some wacko, trip me up. I'm not afraid, which is why I was up there in the shop. I always know, no matter what I do, I always know that there's a risk that I'm going to run into somebody or trigger somebody or have some weird stuff happen with somebody that's problematic. And I don't live my life in fear of people like that. But because I didn't, and because for the first time in a very long time, I had myself in a position where I was at easy access to the public doing the things that I do. Because I put myself in that position, apparently refusing to take the signs that there was resistance to it, because I'm not a go with the flow, let the universe shove you out of the way kind of person. I want to get it done, I'm going to do it kind of person. And so I did, and I did amazing things while I was up there. And so for 6 months, everything went really well, but stuff started to get kind of weird. People started to get kind of weird. There's a lot of unusual stuff going on. There were some threats that took place, and I'm not going to go far into that because I really don't care. So somehow, I don't know how a javelina would have gotten its snout up to where this was, but a javelina snout got up and pressed itself down in the middle of one of my Red Rocks paintings. So that painting was charged with Sedona red rocks and all sorts of other different things, and mixed specifically to the frequency of Sedona while I was looking at Sedona and all of these different things. And then this javelina nose print was in it. So at first I thought it was a flaw, but it really turned out that it was supposed to be part of the painting and part of the spiritual message of that painting. And that's, again, another exercise in me not trying to control the process, because it needed the blessing from the javelina to make the painting complete, because it was an energy vortex having to do with Sedona. So, and I think it even had light language in that one too. I think light language came out of that one as well. But anyway, so I made, instead of correcting it or trying to fix it, I made the javelina snout print. I made it gold. I painted it gold, and then I finished the painting, and that piece has sold. So just goes to show you, sometimes when you let go of control, things happen that you couldn't have planned. And I feel that way actually about what I originally thought. So if you're interested, Ancient Apocalypse. This little painting right here is also a part of the Springtime in Jerome Art in the Park event. This is part of the original paint mixture and the original pour for the Art in the Park event in Jerome in 2023. And so it's one of the few pieces that I have left that have that specific paint mixture in them. And it's just beautiful. And so this was painted to tune in to all of the different flowers and different things that I all around Jerome during the period of time when they had the Art in the Park event. Oh, part of the sticker is still on there from when I had it in the shop. I'll get that later. Anyway, so I have this, and if you're interested, it is for sale. This piece is a Winter Wonderland theme, and it has, again, all sorts of special effects to give it a really beautiful, crystallized, frosty feeling. And so this is a holiday themed painting that I did. It's an acrylic pour. I've sold a few pieces that I also did at the same time as this. I still have this one, and I love it. If you're interested, of course, it's for sale. It is a psychic energy work in that I absolutely mix the paints to channel them so that they would be bringing through beautiful, good, fresh, clean holiday energy. This painting was inspired by the candy store in Jerome. It is a part of the original pour for the Springtime in Jerome Art in the Park event, where I was one of 16 featured artists, including many other amazing, talented artists. And I did a mother painting with the mixture, specifically attuned to Springtime in Jerome energy and the flowers that were growing all over the mountain, all over Jerome. And I did a mother painting and I did a whole bunch of child paintings, if you will. And so this is one of the child paintings. And I just decided to make it themed like the candy store. And if you've ever seen the candy store in Jerome, which is legendary, you'll understand that this just has a very candy feel for a reason. It's just perfect. This is a perfect piece to represent the candy store in Jerome, in my opinion. And it is meant to be an energetic doorway to bring in beautiful energy from Springtime in Jerome. This piece is meant to embody love. That's really that simple. The energy that was channeled into the paints while I made this one was love. So when you look at it, I call it the love doctor, honestly, because of this little guy right here. And I'm not sure if you can see him, but it almost looks like a little witch doctor creature with like an animal face and a headdress on and a flowing robes and like a whoosh of energy, like arms. And this guy right here embodies what I see in this painting. It's like a little magical witch doctor, love doctor kind of guy. Witch doctor in a good way, not any kind of a, unpleasant thing, because I don't want anything that I don't want coming back on me. So I make it so that only good energy can come through my paintings. And again, that looks a little floral to me. And then there's some feathery things. And it's all very kind of multi-dimensional layers of special effects paints in this painting. And that's why I'm holding the camera, because I wanted to be able to actually show how beautiful the paints are. And it has a little bit of a candy store kind of a vibe. But essentially, it has to do with love. So this piece, it has glow in the dark and fluorescent, like blacklight reactive paints in it. So I'm going to attempt to show you what it looks like in the dark. If the lighting is going to work and the camera will pick it up, I'm not sure. But this piece, it embodies what I see. In a very base form, it embodies what I see when I look at people. So when I see them, I can see the energy field around them, and it's different with everybody. I mean, this is just a very base representation of what I see. But so I can see the energy forms around people, their energy field, and then I could see the cord that connects them to their source or their higher self, however you want to look at that. I'm not trying to have a debate, but I can see the cord that's said to connect you to your source or your higher self. And I can also see a lot of other different energy forms around people. So when you look, there's like the closer energetic body, and then there's, other energy fields that go on there. And the light is making it a little tricky. There we go. So there's color in it, even though it's a little bit difficult to pick out, but each glow in the dark color has a specific purpose where it's at. Each person represents a different tribe of people, essentially. And also you can see the spiral between this larger figure here and this figure here. You can see the spiral. And that represents what it looks like to me when people communicate from third eye to third eye, which I do actually see, and it does look very much like that. Spirit beings also communicate, and it looks very much like that as well. But like, I can go into the grocery store and see one person shoot a spiral of energy from their third eye to someone else's third eye. I can literally see that. Not everyone does that, but people do it. And so I can see that. So I'm going to turn the light off and see if I can get this. So I'm going to turn the light off and see if I can get it to show what exactly the glow in the dark effect is with this paint. Okay, so in here, what we have is this painting is one of the handful that are left from the Jerome Art in the Park event. And again, these paints in this were mixed specifically to the frequency of springtime in Arizona. So I'm going to take it off the hook for a minute and show you a little bit better. The effects in this paint is they're amazing. Layers and sheen and color shift and iridescence and just beautiful. And you can't begin to even see it. Even I can tell right now, even in the picture, you can sort of see it. But when you see them in person, it's just, they're beautiful, and they're a little bit different in each sort of lighting. So anyway, this is one that's left from the Jerome Art in the Park event, and it's one of only a certain amount in a series that have the same paint mixture charged for the Art in the Park event. Okay, so what we have here is the Labyrinth. And this painting is specifically a meditation piece. It can be just for decoration or a good energy doorway if one chooses. But the purpose, the impetus behind the creation of this is that it is a labyrinth. So it's to help you to meditate, to, go within. And it has layers of metallic yellow paint and layers of metallic greens and blues and different reds and berry colors, and again, wine colors as well. And then when I did the pour, I started to see different patterns come out in it. And so I accentuated. And also there was a bird. And so this bird was actually in the painting, and I've just detailed it out. And it even had a little spiral right here beside the eye, which I thought was really interesting. On the corner, I was guided to put these, rose buds. And this is textured. It's textured by modeling paste. And again, many layers of iridescent and special effects paints. So when you actually see this painting, it just has so much color and so much depth and so much to the different iridescence and the different layers. And again, It's off center, but that's intentional because that's what I was guided to do. It's not something that I would have chosen to do, but it is something that was meant to be, is something that was meant to be for this piece, was that it is off center. I have a little bit of an obsessive need to straighten things out sometimes, so it does kind of, like, but then the bird manifested in the corner. So there's that. So this painting is really, 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 really unique, and it has beautiful energy. And the more you sit and look at it, the more you'll just fall in love with the colors and the textures and the quality. Everybody always comes and wants to touch this painting. Always. Like, they just do. So anyway, here we have another little special piece that's meant to be an accent piece that is part of the Jerome Art and Wine Walk series. So this is another one of the small handful that are left, including the mother painting, which is here, and you're about to see this. The mother painting, I did the paint mixture for that with the intention of making the child paintings, and this is one of the child paintings in the series for the Jerome Art and Wine Walk. So the colors in it have all to do with wine, and there's copper and gold because that was mined in Jerome. And then it's got the colors of wines and grapes in it. So I'll bring it down here so that you can maybe see it a little bit better, because it's all special effects paints. And again, there will only ever be just so many with that specific mixture. So if you like the energy of this piece, there's not going to be a lot more of them. Okay. And here we have the mother painting for the Jerome Art and Wine Walk series that I created right before the shop closed down. And again, the paints for this mixture, yes, it was a psychic energy work. And I tuned into I tuned into the energy of the wine, and having worked at a vineyard in a tasting room, and I got to experience a lot of smells and energies and different processes and I also used a lot of beautiful coppers, metallic coppers and golds to represent the landscape of Jerome, because again, Jerome is a copper mining town, and they did mine some gold there, but it was primarily copper. And so this whole thing was mixed over a period of days and charged with this specific frequency so that it would be bringing forth the beautiful energy of that particular art and wine walk in Jerome. So I will take the camera down here in a second, and I will show you from some different angles. And again, it even looks different in daylight, from daylight to artificial light, from natural light to artificial light. But this is the mother painting, and there's a handful of the child paintings left. I've had people say they see an angel up here, and I've had people say they see a bird up here. For me, it is an angelic looking bird. That's what I see when I look at it, is an angelic looking bird. And let me step out of the light. So for me, the bird is perfect because it represents frequencies and tones, forms of energies that, are a result of that. So for me to have a bird manifest in this painting is just perfect. I mean, for some reason, it's getting a very yellowy look in the camera. It's more gold than that. It doesn't look yellow. It has a very beautiful gold color to it. I'm not sure why it's looking that way in the camera, because it does not look like that in the artificial lighting. It looks like beautiful golds and coppers and rose colors and purples, deep purples. And wine and berry colors. I mean, really, this piece is just beautiful. And again, this has a frame on it as well, so it's completely finished if you like that kind of a look. And if you're interested in it, this piece is available for sale. This piece right here is also from that same Art and Wine Walk in Jerome. It's, again, one of the handful that I have left. I sold a bunch of the smaller pieces. Well, smaller to mid-range pieces. Again, it looks more yellow in the camera for some reason than it actually looks. But yes, so there's another accent piece that goes with the mother painting for Jerome Art and Wine Walk. This piece is called Life in Motion, of when Arizona was an ocean, was part of a bay, but also it can be just representative of the ocean. It's a very ocean feel to this one. So there's 3 little dolphins in here in the waves, and take this off of there, and feathers. So there's feathers floating down from the air, and the sky very much is like it's on fire. So it's like just beautiful oranges and yellows, and it's just to me it almost looks like molten lava, like literally like molten lava. So I'm going to take this picture down and put it closer to the camera and try to give you a little bit better gist of, I want to give you a little bit better view of what the paints actually look like up close, because it's still not going to be the same as seeing it in person, but it's just, this piece is beautiful. And then it has coral up through here, and then the sun up in the corner. So it's just a whole lot of natural flowing of forces, of energy, of elements of nature. So this one is called Life in Motion. So here we have an up-close look at the molten lava kind of effect that's going on in the sky in this one. Again, there's a lot of reflections from the lighting, but you can really get a feel for the way the paints flow and layer and slide and glide over each other to create the different layers and textures in this painting. I mean, you can almost feel that sky being on fire, and then it's beautiful. Now those feather shapes, they were in the painting, and I detailed them out. And you can almost feel the dimensions of the coral. And the colors and the textures of the feathers are very, to me, they feel like they belong in a royal palace. They have a very regal, royal feeling to them. The richness and the depth of the colors in those feathers is just, it's beautiful. And here we have another accent piece from the Jerome Art and Wine Walk collection. So I'll just take this off and show you a little bit closer. So again, we have the beautiful golds and the coppers, and that adorns the beautiful wine and grape colors that went with the original mixture for the mother painting. And this is one of the children. I found there's one more of these, and since they kind of could all go together as a collection of accent pieces for any little special nook that you might have for them, I thought I would make sure to show you that there was another one. To me, this one looks like it has a little angel or a little fairy that manifested in it. And it could very well be an angel or a fairy because, you know, I was tuning in with nature. So, okay, so this piece I call Deep Flow. And for me, it's representative of the deep, deep ocean. However, that being said, one could also see it as being the deep flow of minerals and other things under the ground that happen in a volcanic landscape. So there's turquoise colors and green colors, moss green colors, and beautiful, beautiful coppers and rose golds. And it's just, this painting has so many beautiful layers of paints in it, and there's so much depth to the colors in this painting. This is a gorgeous. And those golds that are in there, they're very rose gold. For some reason, this camera is picking things up kind of odd in this light. It's actually this yellow, the bright yellow that you're seeing here, this is very gold. It's a beautiful gold. And then this is rose gold all in here. And this green is beautiful, but it's not quite as bright as it's showing up on the camera. And you see that could be literally bubbles from underwater or bubbles from under the ground of minerals flowing. And again, that's not quite as bright green as it's showing up there. But it's beautiful deep colors. Just Deep Flow is a perfect name for this painting, and it literally could be deep underground in a volcanic landscape, or it literally could be deep in the Mariana Trench in